All right, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We'll be diving right in. So today we turn our attention to a topic at the center of national debate: tax law alterations and the controversies surrounding their implementation. In recent days, questions have been raised about alleged discrepancies between the tax laws passed by the National Assembly and the versions that were subsequently gazetted and made public. Now, a member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abdul Samad Dasuki, has raised a matter of privilege, insisting that the content of the gazetted tax laws does not reflect what lawmakers debated, voted on, and approved on the floor of the House. He has called for all relevant documents, including harmonized versions, votes and proceedings, and gazetted copies, to be scrutinized by the Committee of the Whole, warning that any misalignment could undermine the integrity of the legislature and violate constitutional provisions. Now, the controversy has drawn public attention and calls from former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, and several civil society organizations, all urging a suspension of the implementation of the laws scheduled to take effect on January 1st, 2026. Now, in response, the presidency has weighed in, clarifying that much of what has circulated in the media is misleading. Taiwo Oyedele, chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, explained that only the official harmonized bill certified by the clerk and sent to the president can be considered authoritative. Now, he stressed that some disputed provisions circulated in the media were draft versions and not part of the final gazette. President Bola Tinubu has signed 4 tax reform bills into law: the Nigeria Tax Act, the Nigeria Tax Administration Act, the Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Act, and the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Act. Now, according to the federal government, these reforms are intended to simplify tax compliance, expand the tax base, eliminate overlapping taxes, and modernize revenue collection across federal, state, and local governments. Now, this brings us to the key question for today's phone-in segment: what should the National Assembly do to address these alleged discrepancies, ensure transparency, and restore public confidence in the tax system? We want to hear from you right at this point. The numbers are displayed on your screen. Send us a WhatsApp message or call us in and share your thoughts. Now, at this point, we understand that a lot has been going on when the conversation of the tax law comes up. And we have to know that what holds the future of Nigerians when it comes to taxes and when it comes to tax collection as well. Now, looking at these taxes or tax bills that the president has signed when it comes to expanding the tax base and eliminating overlapping taxes as well. But we have our first caller. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, Hauwa. Good morning, Maimuna. Good morning, Trust TV family. Good morning, Nigeria. This is Shetima Yakujima calling from Maiduguri.
Good morning, Shetima. How is Maiduguri this morning? And unfortunately, Maimuna is not with us this morning.
Okay. You are alone?
Yes, I am.
Well, I just come in and I saw the topic, honestly.
All right, go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, tax law alteration. Honestly speaking, what the National Assembly will do, to my mind, if at all they have understand that it's alteration in that bill, what they're supposed to do is to put him aside, because that content is not the one that they agree upon. If at all there is alteration, it has violated the law of the House, because what they agree upon is not the one that presented back to them. So they have to put it aside until and unless the committee produce the genuine one, the one that they have debated on and they agree on. Because all of them there, they are representing people. They cannot agree or compromise on something that have been smuggled in. Anything that they will do, they make sure that what they agree on, that the real document that they sent is the one that will, they're supposed to accept. Anything contrary to that, we are calling for them to put the bill aside or the law aside. They should not accept it in totality, because this thing it is if at all they give way to this one, another thing will follow. They have to know that they are representing people, and people's eyes was on them. Whatever they are doing, people are watching, and thank God that we have watching dogs. The media are watching, and anything that come in way of smuggling or they use the back door, the public should know, and we must talk about it. What they will do is they should mount pressure on the committee to produce the original document that they have agreed on, the one that they have voted. Thank you so much and have a nice day.
All right, thank you very much, Shatima, for that. Now, since these discrepancies have been identified, it is only right for, as Maid mentioned, there's a committee there, so making sure that these discrepancies are identified and make sure that everything has been tracked and know where the route or where this alteration started from. Well, all right, we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Hauwa. How are you today?
Good morning,
Ade. Ade calling from London.
Thank you for joining us, Ade. How are you doing this morning?
I'm okay. All
right.
Nigeria is one country, united together, which is beautiful. Nobody can draw Nigeria back. Nobody at all. The man, the legislator shouting, is shouting without consultation with the leader of the house. It should be the speaker, the deputy speaker, the deputy senate president. They are wise enough to complain if there's any fishy. People want to draw Nigeria back. No, this tax law must pay. Everybody in Nigeria must pay tax. Because sharing the money to governors, every local government is very easy. But where is the money going to come from? Everybody must contribute. You see, here in UK, everybody contributes. It doesn't matter where you come from. Your religion, it doesn't matter. If you don't pay tax here, you go to prison. So, tax is good for any country to move forward. So, the man shouting that is a fake, let you go to court. This thing was signed in June, and we are in December. He's not shouting in December. When we decide it in June, do you think all the legislators are just, they are not wise enough to know? So, what they are circulating is fake one. The original they passed in the National Assembly is what the president signed. And it will move Nigeria forward. And it will start in January. Everybody must pay tax. Because we have neglected that area for years. You see, so they should focus on their governor, on their local government, chairman, to do the needful and use the money for the betterment of the people. That's most important. How long are we going to be doing this? Nobody can draw us back. We have to move forward. So if God has given us a president who sees a vision for tomorrow, not for himself or for his children, but for the children unborn, and we have to be a better place. And he's bringing it. I'm not a supporter of this president when he wants to come in. But that one is history now. It's there already. So, but what he's bringing to Nigeria now, nobody will know the benefit until 10, 20 years' time. Then they will be competing with people here in UK, America, Europe, everywhere. So it's a good thing for us. For people, for example, here in UK, either you are a imam or you are a pastor, you pay tax. Your salary, you have to pay tax. In Nigeria, they don't pay tax. But this new tax law now, they will pay. Pastors will pay, imam will pay. With your salary, what they will deduct it from your salary. That they pay it in UK here. You see? So it's a good thing for the vision of Nigeria to prosper. Not just to be sharing money, and money will be coming from a few places. No. Let everybody contribute to to the national purse. Then we can share it. So this law has come to stay. Nothing can change it. If anybody is upset, let the person go to court. God bless Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much, Ade, for that. It is absolutely the right foot in the right direction when it comes to implementing a tax law in Nigeria and making sure that those revenues that have been gathered when it comes to taxation are utilized as they're supposed to be. But on one end, looking at the tax bill that the House of Representatives or the National Assembly have passed and sent it to the President and has been passed into law should tally with what has been gazetted. And if there are discrepancies that are all going on, it is only right that the House of Representatives establish a ad hoc committee making sure that they investigate these allegations, and the federal government, the presidency, come up on their end as well, making sure that there's an alignment when it comes to both versions. Now we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from? Can you please turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you clearly?
Okay. Okay. I am Olushiji calling from Ondo City.
All right, thank you for calling in. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I want to comment on the signed tax law.
Go ahead.
I think government should endeavor to stir up confidence in its activities. Even the National Assembly has a role to play now by making open the version that was passed alongside with the one in question, the one gazetted. Then people can have absolute trust in government or otherwise. We need truth. We are all honorable men. Our men have been elected to that office to defend our interests. We know that there may be some errors, but when somebody points out the error, we do not crucify him or her. But let us make Nigeria better for our incoming generation by upholding whatever is true. So I would suggest that both the presidential spokespersons and so on, and that of the National Assembly, come and explain to Nigerians why we have two versions or why the two versions are the same. So they will have to explain to us. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. Now, understanding that it is quite important to be able to know that what has been pushed forth to the public is what is rightly supposed to be there. Now, the National Assembly or the House of Representatives have identified major discrepancies, but according to the presidency, these disputed provisions circulating in the media were draft versions and not part of the final gazette. But then how is it that they're back and forth when it comes to it? And I believe with the 4 tax reform bills that have been signed into law, they've found discrepancies between those 4 tax laws that have been bills that have been passed so far. All right, let's take our next caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Adi from Port Harcourt.
Thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your thoughts.
The tax law is very, very okay. Yes, very nice. But the way our country is now, those people, maybe they pay the tax, they will shop the money. See, the last time they say subsidy is gone. From today, nobody can notice for the subsidy is gone. No hospital, no road. See, Port Harcourt to Lagos, no road. You understand? Before you know, you see that once someone will just meet someone. See the last man, the last time, they get someone paying school, children's school fees, almost 8 billion out of the subsidy money. How did you cope? Because there's no digital something. And again, there's no work. Government cannot create work. If students can graduate now, no work. All those are our graduates now. Some are keke nape, some are POS, some all those things. And again, what I did now, someone can just go for some ministry. They'll start to receive the money. That was the issue. It's not that the paper is not the issue. The paper is very nice. You understand? The government cannot make a provision for everybody. And again, when they start to pay tax now, a lot of crisis will start again. Because shit will start. I don't know how this our government they are taking out. The last last time, last year or so. They promised us everything should be all right. Say we need hope, all this, that, this. Last 2 months, I traveled to Port Harcourt to Lagos. I saw more than 2 days for road. No refinery is not working. All those things, they promise us, say this. Later, they cannot do it. How people can you believe them? That was my take.
All right, thank you very much for your thoughts. Now, let's look at a couple of the major identified discrepancies by the House Representatives. Now, one of them is unauthorized enforcement powers with the provisions allegedly appeared in the gazetted version that were never debated or approved, such as powers allowing tax authorities to arrest individuals or seize funds without court orders. All right, we'll continue. Let's take our next caller. Hello, good morning.
My name is Tony Eze, calling from Benue State.
Good morning, Tony Eze. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Thank you. I think I have appealed to the House of Rep and Senate because this tax that they are talking about at the end is the masses on the street that are going to suffer it. I listened to one of them who was defending the tax that the poor masses are not going to pay for it, that it is those that earn up to 800,000 or so that will pay for the tax, but an ordinary man on the street will pay. But if ordinary man on the street didn't pay direct, you pay indirect, because those people that you are taxing, they have business doing. Maybe some of them is into production. So when the such person pay tax, they will add it to the thing that he's doing, and anybody that is good of what he's doing will pay for the tax. So I'm appealing to the Senate and the Rep. At this time around, let them stand on the side of the masses, not on present mandate they shall stand. Let them stand on our own side, because all this part of a thing, at the end, it will end up us suffering it. That's the only my appeal to them. Tax reform is not for the benefit of the masses.
All right.
That is my understanding. Good morning.
All right, thank you very much, Tony Eze, for that. Now, we have a couple of these discrepancies that have been identified. One of them is allegations of insertion of a requirement for taxpayers to pay 20% of disputed assessments as a security deposit. And aside from that, we have currency requirements as well, where it is mandating requirements of taxes to be computed and paid solely in the United States dollars for certain transactions, which was reportedly not in the approved legislative versions. Now we have a couple as well, omitted sector specific provisions, as well as reduced oversight. But I believe we have a couple of WhatsApp messages to take before we go. We have a message from Sharif Muhammad Siambola from Jigawa State, and he says, good morning. On tax law alterations, the National Assembly's job right now is clarity and trust building. If, as Mr. Taiwo Uedeli clarified, what the president approved is different from what's circulating in the media, then the priority must be to officially publish and communicate the harmonized final version clearly and transparently. Now, the National Assembly should ensure proper harmonization, open public hearings, and simple explanations of what has changed and why. Tax reforms only work when citizens and businesses understand them and trust the process. Now, when different versions are floating around, confusion grows, compliance drops, and confidence in reform is weakened. Lawmaking doesn't end at passage, it ends when the law is clear, credible and implementable. Thank you very much, Sheriff Muhammad Siambula from Jigawa State. Now we have another message from Michael from Bauchi, and he says the National Assembly should immediately suspend the implementation of the newly gazetted tax laws due to alleged alterations made after the bills were passed. Now, the African Democratic Congress and other stakeholders are calling for a thorough investigation into discrepancies between the harmonized bill passed by lawmakers and the version signed into law by President Bola Tinubu. Thank you very much, Michael, for that. I believe. All right, we have another call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my sisters.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Abakaliki, Ebonyi State.
All right, what is your name?
My name was Law Alteration.
Okay, thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah. In terms of that tax law, what matters is that sincerity. If our leaders can be honest about it, every country pays tax. Individually, the citizens pay tax. But one thing is that the tax may be paid and may not be used for the betterment of the citizens. Now, what happened in subsidy? Subsidy was removed, and they promised a lot of things to be done after removing that subsidy. That they use money and do it. But that's how they can see that nobody, the subsidy is in the hands of the the politicians, the leaders. But if this one will be done and the money will be used for the development of the country, good. But what is that? They may collect this tax and they convert it. I'm not doing like what happened in subsidy. So nobody is against paying tax. But the way they do it, and they just like what you read that one of the judges, they will arrest the citizen without the court order. And when they arrest, when you make something that you arrest the citizen without the court order, it means that we are just in lawless area. We have to, even if the city has already offended or has already not contributed or paid the tax, they have to go to court and they use court and they before the person. But you say that they don't know you will arrest without the court order. But now the part, apart from that, sincerity will solve the problem. If our leaders can be sincere to use the money of the tax to develop the country is okay. But they can even collect it and even convert it. They can give it to other governors like what they said now, or go to local government chairman or give to this thing. Yes, give it to them is good. But will they use it for the development of people? For the interest of people? Because when you pay tax, what you're studying is the action of government to favor you. The present action of the government. But one thing that collecting that tax now, you will not see that money. And when you collect after the tax now, by January, everything will increase. We see the transfer will increase, the production side will increase, because that tax is now, you can't spend, it's already a part of the production cost. If you are traveling, they will put it in, because those people they are taxed. The producers, the business people they are taxed, and they can't put that tax to that to individuals. Yeah, but even if they are just paying that tax, the tax are increasing. And they're not, the tax is not being used for them. It cannot, it will just increase the hardship in the country. Now, what I'm trying to tell them that if they can use it sincerely, and the National Assembly should, when it is not okay, where the alteration, when it's not the way they pass it, they correct it. Because it is too bad for them to pass something like just children, and it is something what they came back to them is not what they are expected. And they should do that, they represent people. And I'm urging the leaders to use that tax money very well, because it's going to increase some certain things. Use it very well. Thank you. That's my own contribution.
All right, thank you very much for that. We have another WhatsApp message from Adamu Muhammad Usman, writing from Kafang Hausa in Jigawa State, and he says, good morning, everyone. Well, paying a tax isn't a bad idea. It is something good to be in place. And it is not a new thing in Nigeria, because in those days, in the 60s and 70s and early 80s, Nigerians pay tax, and it was called the Jangali or Haraji in the north. But then the government takes care of so many things, of providing free, sound and effective education, provide water, power and security, etc. But now we pay or provide education, water, power, security, etc. for ourselves. So why should the tax law be altered? I appeal the National Assembly to be faithful, patriotic, have pity and compassion for Nigerians, and do the needful for enacting a law to establish a body or sanitizing an agency responsible for or to handle the affairs of taxes paid by Nigerians. Now let the money be channeled to proper avenue and let the common man enjoy what he is paying. May Allah help us. Thank you very much, Adamu Muhammad Usman from Kapang Hausa. All right, it is very understandable that tax laws are very important when it comes to boosting the economy, especially if those revenues are used in making sure that the country, or putting it back into the economy or education, infrastructure, and many other things that's needed in the country. But at this point, where the discrepancies lie between laws that have been passed as well as laws that have been gazetted, it is quite important to look deeper and make sure those discrepancies are smoothened out and these tax laws are being implemented so that it is for the betterment of Nigerians and Nigeria at large. That is all we have for this segment. We'll be going on a quick break. When we come back, we'll be doing a 2025 review of the year in politics in Nigeria. Make sure you stay with us. We'll be right back.